that once you get a handle for the two or three key indicators that's showing this traffic is fake, it then becomes very, very easy to spot fake traffic going on from there. And also, I'm going to show who benefits from that fake traffic, because the important thing about fake traffic is, of course, it doesn't benefit all of us across the board. It's targeted at certain messages and certain individuals. And, as well as amplifying those individuals, relatively, then we all get censored in a relative sense, because our traffic is not amplified, and therefore we get buried under the fake traffic. So it serves a dual purpose of promoting certain messages and at the same time burying genuine messages and genuine people. A few words about the science behind it, just to give you the link to proper scientific literature about bots. And one of the things that's been a mystery to me is this is an open secret in computer science circles, that there is a huge volume of bot traffic, and that those science papers, they never made it anywhere into mainstream media. There's even a term for this now, which is astroturfing, where a handful of people try and make something look like a grassroots campaign. And as I said, they're using a combination of activists and automation to push exactly the same message out through all of these accounts. I would, if I was scrolling through this, I would say, okay, that's interesting. So what I can do is look at the engagements. So you can open up a little menu and you can look at these view post engagements. So that'll show me who is quote tweeting, who is reposting, and who is liking. So if I go to reposts first, which is retweets, what generally happens is the first handful of accounts at the top of this list are quite bona fide. And if you scroll down a little bit, you start getting into things like this, which is there's no profile picture, and it's a name with a number also attached to it. So it's an automated username. So if I open this, what I'll see is quite a few thousand posts. So there's 3,000 posts, which is not by far not the biggest, and not many followers. So the following number equals roughly the followers. So I'll say, roughly speaking, there's no net followers unless on this account. But the key thing is, if I scroll down, I'm hoping, I guess, that all of these posts will be retweets. So it's a retweet, 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 retweet. You can see that little symbol here. It's retweets. And I don't know how far I have to go down until I find an actual real post. These are all retweets, and that's one of the giveaways from the accounts that are doing retweets. When you come to look at them, there's no original activity. It's all just retweets. And I'll just look at the likes, because that's a similar kind of story. The first few accounts that you can see providing likes are kind of bona fide. You scroll through those, and then you start getting into these again, this kind of account. So if I click on this, no net followers, so they've got less followers than they're following. And if I go 183,000 likes. So this is it's inauthentic activity. No real person is going to sit there providing 183,000 likes. So you've got two types of bots. You've got the retweet bots, and you've got the like bots. And the retweet bots are just doing retweets all the time, but the like bots have very few posts, but tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of likes. So what's surprising to me when I did this is, in computer science, the idea of huge bot traffic is completely standard. So I've given the links to these things, but Zafar Giuliani from Cambridge did a paper showing, I can't see because of the command here, but I think it's 54% of tweets and retweets were fake, under the paper that they did. And Luca Lucieri from Switzerland said 43%. So in computer science, it's an open secret that there's a huge volume of bot traffic. And I never understood why this never made it to mainstream, because Twitter, before it went public, before it went private, was talking about 5%. of accounts being fake, which was it's completely almost 10 times less than computer science papers that were done by Cambridge University. It made no sense to me why this was never really acknowledged. My figure's always been another guy called Dan Woods. He came up with a figure of 80%, but he didn't provide any workings, so I don't know where his came from. But I came up with 80% because of the workings that we did. So this is an open secret, really, in computer science that Twitter is just flooded with fake traffic. And there used to be a website called Botometer where they would provide a few more metrics that I could use. But that whole system was cut off after Musk took over. So there isn't the visibility that there used to be. So you're left with only what you can see on Twitter now. Um, so now the government involvement in all of this, and maybe some ideas about where Musk is taking this. So DARPA in the US, our favorite organization, this is sort of military research operation. They were involved right from 2014 in looking at bots, and they ran a challenge in 2014, and you can look this up as well. The DARPA SMIC can't can't I think this is strategic communication on social media or something it stands for. They ran a challenge to about 7 universities in America who can spot bots, and then they asked them to turn over the methodology that they used. And oddly enough, they were looking for anti-vaccine activists on Twitter, which is kind of a bit of a coincidence because, essentially 6 years later, people who were questioning the vaccine were suddenly getting wiped out from Twitter. And then, sort of, lastly, in a way, I guess, about the fake traffic, it is freely available for sale. And if you go into YouTube, there's a thing called Twitter Attacks Pro, which is a Chinese website that tells you, you can buy followers, likes, retweets, whatever. And I was looking at it a couple of days ago, and one of the nasty functionalities that they have there is they can automate reporting of an account into Twitter for breach of Twitter guidelines. So they can hit you with like 500, I'm just saying 500 out of thin air. They could hit you with 500 reports into Twitter complaining about an account. So that feature is also automated. If they want to zap someone out of Twitter, they can just send a whole bot farm to report that account if they don't like it. And just on this website, 1,000 Twitter followers cost $24. And the more you buy, the sort of the cheaper the unit costs. So this happens, and not only just buying followers, likes, and retweets, but you can actually now buy accounts that tweet sort of predefined text, so you can actually get the text from Chat GP, put it into your bot, and you'll also then create a bot that tweets out text or likes or emojis or whatever you want it to do. So this is the whole industry. This is a big deal, and you can see, I went backwards and showed the number of Twitter users from 2020, and you can see it's crawling up, 10, 15 million. And then we asked to believe that it went up by 300 million in the year to June 2023. So, that's very suspicious, and I don't think Musk has done anything at all about bots. I haven't seen any reduction in the bot traffic. It's just as big as it always was, I think. And in terms of censorship, he's obviously put accounts back on the platform that were taken off, which is great. And the new method seems to be to tag on a porn bot onto a tweet. I don't know if you've seen this, but if you do a tweet with the wrong subject, it'll get liked by a porn bot. And I think that puts it into kind of some separate category that then gets censored because of the like that you have no control over. I'm not exactly sure how that works yet because it's quite new, but it seems credible that that's a censorship tool that's being used inside Twitter. But again, the big thing is allowing the fake traffic. That is the real censorship, because if Musk or if his team decided to get rid of bots, they could put in two or three of those indicators that we looked at. So if you just did something simple like, say, any account with more than 90% retweets has to enter in a manual code, otherwise it's deleted. That would wipe out a huge volume of fake traffic pretty well straight away, but they don't do that. And I'm assuming they don't do that deliberately because that fake traffic serves a purpose for somebody somewhere. Therefore, it's tolerated and allowed to continue. Um, and just before finishing, the sort of end game, I think, for social media and generally,